What happens when you're charged with illegal whip possession, camping violations, and resisting arrest, all while missing multiple court dates? Today's case features one of the most chaotic courtroom moments we've seen, where a defendant completely changes her plea mid-hearing, leaving everyone, including her own attorney, totally confused. Miss Ford is facing a stack of charges that could land her in jail, but there's a twist. She claims she was just watching camping gear for a friend and has never used a whip she admits to owning. Will the judge buy it? And why does this case take such an unexpected turn toward compassion? This is one courtroom drama you have to see to believe.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm fine, thank you. Ms. Ford, were you in the courtroom this morning when the video containing your constitutional rights was played?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand the rights contained in that video?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand the maximum possible penalties associated with misdemeanor crimes as well as contempt of court?
Yes, sir.
Did you have sufficient time to speak with your lawyer this morning, Ms. Burning?
Not really, but I'm just like trying to understand as being going on 21, why I'm even having to stay this long.
Okay, well, we're going to talk about that this morning. I'll tell you exactly what's going on. All I want to know now is, have you had sufficient time to speak with Ms. Burning? She was on that video with you this morning. You had a discussion, my guess is.
Yes.
Do you need more time to speak with her before I address your three matters? Let's go ahead and take you through these matters. And Ms. Ford, I want you to know that if at any time you need additional time to speak with your attorney, just let me know, and I'll go in recess and you can speak with Ms. Burning. We're going to be on record first in 23 CR 07830. In this case, you were charged with a crime of camping on public property by the Truckee River Corridor. This alleged to have occurred on June 11th of last year in the area of 1100 Commercial Road. Do you understand that charge?
Yes.
It also alleges you failed to appear at court to answer to that charge. You were required to appear on July 19th, but allegedly you failed to appear. Do you wish to admit or deny failing to appear on July 19th?
I do admit I was unaware of the day and what date it was.
All right, I'll accept your admission and I'll take that into consideration, Ms. Ford. Let's go on to the next cases and we'll see exactly kind of what we're doing with regard to any possible negotiations. The next case you have is 23 CR 11542. In this case, you were charged with also camping by the Truckee River Corridor. This one alleged to have occurred on September 11th of last year in the area of 2nd at Coonsley. Do you understand that charge?
Yes, that wasn't any of my belongings. I was just watching it for a dear friend of mine.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. You were required to appear at court on this case on September 20th at community court. Do you wish to admit or deny failing to appear on September 20th as required by the citation?
I admit.
I accept your admission and I will find you in contempt for that. And finally, our newest case we have here, the one that brought you into custody most recently, 23 CR 07678. Now, in this case, you were charged with two violations of law: unlawful use of a whip, as well as obstructing and resisting a peace officer. These charges were alleged to have occurred on June 15th of this year in the area of 1715 Coonsley Street. Do you understand those two charges?
Hold up. Did the judge just say unlawful use of a whip? Yes, you heard that right. In many cities, including Reno, it's actually illegal to possess or use a whip in certain public areas. This law typically targets street performers or those who might use whips to intimidate others. But here's where it gets interesting. Ms. Ford's attorney is about to argue that simply owning a whip doesn't mean you're using it illegally. The complaint only says she admitted to owning one, not that she had it with her or was using it. This is a clever legal distinction. Possession versus ownership. It's like saying you own a car, but weren't driving it during a traffic violation. Watch how the defense attorney tries to get this charge dismissed on a technicality.
Charges.
Your Honor, before my client enters her plea as to that charge, I would be making a motion to dismiss as to the possession of a whip. In the description of that, it only indicates that she admitted to owning a whip. And I don't know if that meets the criteria if the whip was not with her, and there's no indication of that within the complaint.
Ms. Drake, would the city like to be heard on that or take a different approach?
It just seems that I've seen these before, and it seems like possession does satisfy the statute. But in this case, I don't know what our intention is, if it's to plead not guilty or if we can negotiate these.
Exactly. I guess it depends on intention. Is there any intention of pleading to the obstructing and resisting, Ms. Burning?
Your Honor, my client had intended to plead not guilty to both of those charges because one's kind of flows from the other. And I also believe let me check really quick. My understanding was the actual complaint on that charge was not done by, I believe.
Unless you can negotiate something else.
Let's see here. And I apologize for the time.
And about not guilty. I said no, whatever you had told me at that time and moment. Now I'm going to admit at owning a whip. Never have I ever used a whip.
Please remain quiet.
You're making statements that are not in your favor, Ms. Ford. I want you to know that. So let's move forward with the case. And if we're going to enter not guilty pleas, I'm going to deny your motion to dismiss. I think that with regard to the two-wit clause of the complaint, the act is use or possession of unlawful use of whip. Possessing a whip in downtown, well, depends on where you possess it too. There are a lot of potential issues here, but I'd rather that in a motion to dismiss before the court rather than at this stage of the proceedings. So, Ms. Ford, how do you wish to plead to those charges? My understanding is you want to plead not guilty and set them for trial. Is that right?
No.
Get off the chairs.
I just want to go home as soon as possible.
Whoa. Complete 180. Miss Ford just went from fighting the charges to I just want to go home. This is actually more common than you think. Defendants suddenly realize that fighting charges means more time in custody waiting for trial. She's been in jail, missed multiple court dates, and now faces a reality that pleading not guilty means staying locked up even longer. The judge had to stop her from incriminating herself when she started rambling about the whip. This is why having an attorney is crucial. Miss Ford almost talked herself into more trouble. Her sudden change of heart is about to create total confusion in the courtroom. Watch what happens next. Even the prosecutor gets confused.
All right. So let me take you through the charges. You are charged with obstructing and resisting on this case on 615 and unlawful use or possession of a whip. How do you wish to plead to obstructing and resisting?
Guilty.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty to this charge, you'll be waiving your constitutional trial rights? Is that a yes? I couldn't hear you, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
And do you understand then there will be no trial in the matter and we'll proceed directly to sentencing this morning?
Yes, sir.
I'll accept your plea of guilty. City, with regard to the whip, would you like me to canvass?
I'm a little confused what's happening here. I'm sorry.
She entered a plea to obstructing and resisting.
Oh, I thought she was pleading not guilty to everything, but now
I thought she was too, but she's changing her mind and she wishes to address these charges this morning.
Okay, if she's pled guilty to the O&R, then the city will dismiss the whip.
Now,
This is peak courtroom chaos. Even the prosecutor is confused about what just happened. The defense attorney thought they were pleading not guilty. The prosecutor thought the same thing, but Miss Ford just completely changed course mid-hearing. This shows how overwhelming the justice system can be for defendants, especially those dealing with homelessness and multiple charges. But here's the smart move by the prosecutor. They immediately offer to dismiss the whip charge if she pleads to resisting arrest. That's actually a good deal for Miss Ford. The judge is now going to streamline everything, and we're about to see something surprisingly compassionate happen. The system isn't always about punishment. Sometimes it's about getting people the help they need.
Whip.
now let's look back at these other cases. These are two camping on a Truckee River corridor. What would the city like to do with those cases in relation to obstructing and resisting? I'm happy to canvass her on those cases. She's already admitted the warrants in those cases, and I'm happy to take a plea if the city wishes me to.
If she wants to plead to one, the city will dismiss the other.
All right, thank you. All right, Ms. Ford, let's take you back to 23 CR 07830. This was the camping on public property by the Truckee River corridor over on Commercial, not the one where you said you were watching property for your friend, but on the other one. How do you wish to plead to that charge?
Guilty.
I'll accept your plea of guilty on that, and I will dismiss 23 CR 11542. And time served on that warrant. Ms. Drake, would the city like to be heard at sentencing?
I don't know. Does she want to go to community court? That would be my suggestion.
That would be a good suggestion. Ms. Burning, have you had that discussion?
Yes, we have, and that's what my client wants to do is at the camping charges.
I'm sorry, with regard to the camping charges, Ms. Burning?
Yes, Your Honor, she wants to go to community court.
All right, let's make that happen.
This is where the story takes a beautiful turn. Community court is a game changer for people like Miss Ford. Instead of just throwing her in jail for camping violations and missing court dates, they're offering her a path to real help. Community court connects people experiencing homelessness with services like housing assistance, medical care, food stamps, IDs, and job placement. It recognizes that many crimes are really poverty issues. Miss Ford has been camping by the river, missing court dates because she didn't know what day it was. These are symptoms of homelessness, not criminal intent. The judge is about to do something that shows the human side of the justice system. This is restorative justice at work.
Make that happen. I want to let everyone know the community court is not going to be in session for the next 2 weeks. The first session after today will be July 3rd. So we're a way out for community court, which is fine. We'll talk about that. Ms. Ford, would you like to go to community court and see if we can get you connected with services?
Yes, sir.
That's exactly what we do there, and we do a good job at it. We can get you connected with Medicaid, SNAP benefits, IDs, employment, housing, all those kinds of things. Here's what we're going to do, Ms. Ford. I'm not going to keep you in custody for 3 weeks. So I'm going to let you out of custody. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance, but you have to follow these following conditions. And if you don't, I'm going to remand you right back into custody, and then you will have to wait, okay? With regard to the conditions, you are released on your own recognizance on both cases, 23 CR 07830 and 24 CR 07678. The conditions: you will obey all laws. You will consume no alcohol or drugs without a prescription. You are to report to community court on July 3rd. 3 Wednesdays, not this Wednesday, not next Wednesday, but the following Wednesday, July 3rd. We're at the downtown Reno Library. Do you know where that is?
Yes.
Please be there at 8:30 in the morning. And that will be it. We'll see you then, okay?
What an incredible turn of events. Miss Ford came in facing multiple charges: illegal camping with possession, resisting arrest, and 2 failures to appear. She could have spent months in jail. Instead, through a combination of strategic plea bargaining and compassionate justice, she's walking out today with a chance to rebuild her life. She pled guilty to 1 camping charge and resisting arrest, got the whip charge and 2nd camping charge dismissed, and most importantly, she's headed to community court for real help with housing, health care, and employment. This case shows that sometimes the best outcome isn't punishment, but connecting people with the resources they desperately need. If this story touched your heart or taught you something new about how community courts work, smash that like button and share this video. Comment below. Do you think more cities should have community court programs? And don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell for more eye-opening courtroom stories that show both the harsh and hopeful sides of our justice system.